Well, hey y'all, it is currently Sunday right now for me, and since it is Sunday afternoon, it's of course time for Sunday brunch because who eats, well, I don't particularly tend to have any time to eat before I go to church. So today I'm making something that to me is perfect for a rainy day, and that is called Huevos a la Mexicana. You could call it Mexican eggs because the colors in the Mexican flag are green, red, and white, of course, obviously, other than the eagle and snake that's on there, that the colors that are in that image. But at the same time, the main colors are the red, green, and white. So this dish has tomato, onion, and jalapeño, which are of course the green, red, and white. So it's considered called huevos a la mexicana. So here we go. So of course we have our Roma tomato, which I'm doing it a little bit thicker than what I would do for hot dogs. This is more like what you would do like for a pico de gallo, which I've actually thought about doing that in the very near future, doing a video on that. Of course, different areas of Mexico may have it a teeny little bit different, but it shouldn't be all that extremely different throughout the entire country. But this is, as you can see, this piece is a teeny bit thicker just because it was on the edge. So the pieces of tomato are actually a little bit thicker than what I probably would typically use. Let's see if I can't get these. I'm going to see if I can't get these to kind of go on their sides and just kind of cut them a little bit in half, because they don't need to be super small, but they don't need to be this big either. Okie dokie. I probably should have cut this one more slice in. I might just do that just like that. Okay, there we go. That'll make life a little bit more easy. Amen. And then I'm going to finish up cutting up this tomato, and then I will be right back. Okay, your next step, of course, is your onion. So I've got 3 kind of sort of slices, or whatever you want to call it, of onion right here. And then I'm just going to dice it up. Just like that tomato. And I'll be back once this is done. And of course, last but not least is the jalapeño. If you cannot handle the spice or dislike the spice, absolutely use green pepper. It's the same flavor, just that the jalapeño has the spice with it. If you want the jalapeños themselves but don't want the spice, you can always take out the seeds and the veins, which I will do my best to show you what I'm talking about momentarily. You can always take it and either take it out like this or do it with the knife as you're cutting. So give me 1 second. See, as you take it out, you can take any of that vein out. You can take this out like this. That's going to reduce the amount of heat. And definitely if you take out all the veins and the seeds, it should take generally all of the heat out of the peppers. You don't necessarily have to endure the heat. And like I said, you can always use green pepper if you don't want to deal with this part. I'm only taking out a part of them, not because of anything, just because I do like a little bit of spice, but I want it to be a little bit toned down. And then, of course, you're just going to take that and dice it up. And I'll be back in just a moment. Now, of course, we've got all of our vegetables there, diced nicely. Since this is only going to be for me, this is entirely too much because it's going to need a lot more eggs than I could eat even, let alone what I need to eat. So therefore, I'm going to keep back and I'm going to take out some of this so that I'm not going to worry about putting it in the pan. Then I've already got it ready to go for the next time, probably sometime this week, that I'm going to want some huevos a la mexicana. We're going to get this going momentarily. Next, I'm adding oil to this pan. It's just a teeny little bit, just enough to fry up them vegetables. I've got the stove on medium heat and it will be ready to fry up these vegetables quite soon. This oil should be pretty ready. It may or may not need another couple seconds to heat up. It's getting there real quick. So I'm going to just go ahead and dump these vegetables in there. While I'm waiting for this to heat up real good, I'm going to tell y'all, if you're cutting up any kind of jalapeños or any kind of spicy peppers, absolutely once you're done, wash your hands. I promise you, I have learned from personal experience on more than one occasion that I forgot and began to scratch my eye, or especially something like that, or put my finger in my mouth to get something out of in between my teeth, etc. And then you get that pop of that spice because it will stay on your skin. So you're going to want to wash your hands after you've cut up anything. And if you've got any cuts on your hands while you're cutting them up, you may want to use gloves to make sure that you don't get any of that chile in your cuts, because it's almost like if you use an alcohol sanitizer, it's a cut finder. This is getting there real quick. We're just gonna let these, we're gonna let these onions and the green pepper, the jalapeno, we're gonna let that get a little bit soft. Maybe not extremely, but definitely a little bit more bland than what they are right now. The tomato is going to begin to become a little bit more squishy, and that is the reason that you want your tomatoes, whatever that you get for the huevos a la mexicana, you want them to be very firm. They can be mature, but they need to be firm. We are just about there. I'm seeing the tomato, it's starting to look a little bit more mushy. I'm starting to see the onions are looking like they're becoming a teeny little bit translucent, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Now these vegetables are pretty much exactly the way that I want them. I don't know if you can see, hopefully it's close enough, that this onion is taking on some of that tomato color, which means that it's getting cooked. Now I've got about 3 eggs. This is just for me. So now that we've got that in there, I'm going to make sure that I get that in there real good. We're going to get this some salt. We do not need pepper because, whoa, gracious, that was way too much. We put some salt in it. Hopefully it won't be over salted, because I always take the lid off the shaker so that it won't be sticking around the lid edge, and then whenever you open it up, pouring it all over the floor. And I just accidentally poured a bit much into my eggs. I'm going to trust that it's not going to be too salty, and otherwise just be careful when you're putting in salt into the eggs, because you don't want it to be over salted. So don't take after my example, right? Do as I say, not as I do. It's just about there. We are just about done, which of course is a good thing because I am hungry. Now I'm just letting it get a teeny bit toasted because I love my eggs toasted. If you don't like them toasted, absolutely take them out once the eggs are to the point that you want them. They may be good for a lot of people, even right now. Most of my family would probably consider them good where they are, as far as the cooking of it. And I do believe that this is pretty much, they aren't toasted per se, but they're cooked. So I think I'm done. I'm hungry. I'm ready to eat. So here we go. To serve, I think that it's overly obvious that you just take the eggs and put them on a plate just like you would any other eggs. These eggs typically are served not alone. They are typically served with refried or fried beans. Of course with tortillas. That's plenty enough. I actually have a little bit more, but you know, I already know somebody who will probably take care of them. So then, on top of that, we add what's called Queso Fresco, which is typically served and sold in blocks I don't know. I know that it's on a mirror image, but I prefer, my personal favorite is La Morenita because it's what is most similar to what I get in Mexico. But obviously, I would recommend any Queso Fresco if you like it. And then this will just kind of, it crumbles. It's a crumbly cheese, kind of probably in consistency like feta or blue cheese, but the flavor, I'll be honest, I don't know if I've ever had feta cheese in my life. So it may be very similar in flavor, but I would not know because I've never had any. I'm going to just put this over both the eggs and the beans. And then this gets served with tortillas, and yum, it's time to eat. Now, while it's not necessarily that I know of, particularly cultural, I know that I very much so enjoy this with some sour cream. Doesn't mean that you have to have it, but I definitely like it because I love the flavor combination. But just this right here, this is very cultural, very Mexican. So there you go, huevos a la mexicana, super delicious, super healthy, and I think maybe it might be becoming less expensive, maybe, I'm hoping in the near future. I'm hoping the eggs will start to go down in price. I did this in part because, yeah, it's just me. But otherwise, I hope that y'all enjoy my videos, enjoy my recipes, and the ones that have been taught to me, you can say. And if I can be of any further help, feel free to hit the like button on the videos. It will help you to be able to see more of them in the future. And subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification, the bell button, so that you can know every time that I put up a video. I have been, over the last several weeks, I've been doing mostly one a week, every 2 weeks at the longest typically. So I'm trying to make sure to keep it moving so that I don't make people say she's not posting anything else, so I'm not gonna subscribe, or I'm gonna get off of her channel. So I hope that y'all enjoy it, and otherwise y'all have a delicious day.